What's up? What's up? What's up, world? After technical difficulty, we are back again, and you are in tune to the Marvelous Talk Show with your main man, G. What's up, Big G?
What's cracking lacking? Happy Juneteenth.
Yeah, man. And your man, Dane, what's popping, Dane?
What's going on, y'all? Let freedom ring. Let it ring.
Yeah, man, from the mountaintops, let it ring, let it ring. Hey, man, as always, you are in tune to Loki Spoiler Talk, man, here at the Marvelous Talk program, and we about to get into it, man. Here we go, and we're going to start it off like this. Man, on this glorious Saturday, we are back, man. Definitely doing what we do, man. And this week's episode of Loki is called Variant. But before we get started, man, make sure you like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Definitely, we're here for you and yours. We are live on Twitch right now. We are live on Facebook. And we also live on the Marvelous Talk Facebook page. So check us out. Any of those locations, you can definitely check us out, man. And we are into it. This week's show was called The Variant. And, man, right off the rip, we were entertained by this LARPing session in 1985, this Renaissance Fair. So we're here at the Renaissance Fair, and The Variant is there, and they're looking for him. And, you know, the TVA agents come into the place. As always, The Variant's waiting on them, ambushed them. Definitely took one of them hostage. What did you think about this right here, Dane? Talk to me, man. Talk to me what was going on in your mind at this point.
Man, I'm thinking sinister. I'm thinking dark. I'm like, we've never seen anything like this in Marvel with, I would say, that really sad movie that was recently came out called New Mutants. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that one. But but that's the vibe that I got. That just it was just sinister, man. Like, who is this cat and or whatever it is, and why are they taking people hostage? Like, and then of course, you know, we saw before that they stole the time device in the first episode, so they took some more of the time devices that they had. So yeah, it's a very mystery surrounding this individual. We still don't know who it is or what their intentions are, but yeah, that was the vibe that I got coming out of that scene.
Yeah, Big G, man, what did you think when you saw this whole scene pop off, man? Talk to me. How did it feel to you, man?
I think it was adequately named. The show was called The Variant. You know, so we're seeing stuff that we've not seen on the big screen because you don't see no hostage situation. Heck, we didn't even see hostage situation in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's no hostage. You know, they either take them out or they want to rule them, and that's Loki's thing. Loki's thing is he always wants to ascend and rule. He doesn't want to take you hostage or manipulate you or use you. But definitely they still in time equipment, man, that has all kind of little Easter eggs in it, man, that we just don't have time for on the show today. But I'm quite sure we'll get into one or two.
And see, you guys, this is what's getting me right now, right? This is what's getting me. They are doing some things that's so deep dive on this whole thing, man, that is really bugging me out. It's deep dive, man, in the sense to where, you know, they're setting us up for things later to come. Like, you don't see what's really happening until you see what's happening. They are really hitting us with a lot of this stuff that it's like they're teasing for one scene to the next, to the next, to the next. And you got to appreciate this battery of writers that they put together. Kevin Feige has done his thing. He's done his thug thizzle. So after The Variant had took the hostage that they took, and evidently this hostage that The Variant took was that thing, because they were like, whoa, you know, they knew the person by name, and they're like, man, he had to be good if he got her, you know. And basically, here we have the next scene we run into. And we definitely have Loki playing with Miss Minutes. And this has me just laughing. Like, I mean, I can't take it. At this point, I'm like, Loki, man, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you so devious and what's wrong with you, man? Like, why are you trying to hit the Miss Minutes thing? Miss Minutes just trying to teach you about time and how it works, and you over here trying to hit it. And then, you know, the thing, well, first he's reading a magazine about jet skis, which is curious, right? He's reading that magazine about jet skis while he's supposed to be working with Miss Minutes. Gee, what did you think about this whole scene? Because the magazine made no sense, but it paid off later. What did you think about this?
And the magazine, like you said, it did pay off, but I'm going to tell you something. You know, I'm sitting down on almost every scene of this show and looking for Easter eggs and looking for Easter eggs. So I pulled up the little screen that Loki was actually looking at, and it was a test. The test was said, if Thanos has the time stone and he wants to go back and eat an apple or 2 apples to be hungry, should he do A, B, C, or D, right? And so that's when Mobius walks in and tells him the answer is B, right? Because they're telling them, they're showing you all kind of Easter eggs of past events that went on during the last phases of the show, and it's showing you directly how it's tied into this timeline or supposed timeline or whatever space we're in. Because in all actuality, we have no clue where we're at and what we're doing. All we know is we just keep getting information from past events that have happened and little future events sprinkled in. So I'm telling you, I was watching that because I think Miss Minutes, and that's another theory that I got. I think Miss Minutes is something different than what everybody else thinks. You know, that's
Absolutely.
just me.
Yep. That's the thing. That's the thing I want to echo is what he just said. And there's a lot of rumors, G, that a lot of people are saying that the exact same thing, that there's more to Miss Minutes than what we're seeing. Once again, to what degree, kind of reference what you said, Maud, is the fact that they're showing us all these little snippets of things, but there's much more behind it. And I think Miss Minutes is one of those things, man. I really do.
Yeah, man, it's like, it's crazy to me because I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, and then there's some things that it continues to go, because I was looking at the magazine that pays off later, and then what Big G said about the test definitely is going to pay off later, and then what Dame said about Miss Minutes. But dude, this crossing universe, it is really having me laugh, man. With the and y'all are gonna laugh when you see the parallel. The jacket with Variant on the back, put me in mind of the jersey with Trainee that Deadpool had on his back. It was hilarious. I was saying to myself, man, this is crazy. Why did he have to have a jacket that says Variant? Because it's so funny to me. Gee, what did you think about when you saw that, man?
He thought he was a boss too, because he popped his collar. He was like, "Yeah, I'm the boss. I'm a boss." You know, he popped his collar and all whatever else. And then they was like, "Hey, man, look at the back." He was like, "Oh man, they played me again. They played."
That's an insult. That's an insult to him.
Yeah, because Loki always thinks he's greater or better than everybody, man. So now he's the one. You ain't nothing, you know, basically.
Yeah.
He's the one, and it had me laughing because it's just like I said, they're crossing universes and they doing this on purpose. The writing is so good that you know that they're doing this on purpose. This is just not happening. They're not just, oh, that's a happenstance, a great coincidence. No, they're doing this on purpose. So, you know, now, you know, they're here and they're talking to Loki, and just like Big G said, you know, Loki is Loki. I'm better than this other person that we're going to go get. So let me take the lead. Y'all just get back. I know what the person gonna do. I got it. Let me take care of it, you know. And basically, he was even given a weapon that the lead, the point, took back from him, was like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. So here we go. They go to this spot. They're in the place now where the Variant had stole one of the TVA agents. So they're here, and Loki as being Loki. Now he starts with this whole Matlock investigation thing. You know, he turns into Sherlock Holmes and stuff. Wait, yeah, the variant's waiting right outside, and you know, definitely, I know what he's doing. And think. I'm thinking like him. You got to think like him. And Mobius right off the rip knew it was a lot. Now, did you guys pick up on this thing? Dave, did you catch this right away, or was it something that you caught when Mobius caught it as well?
I caught it halfway through because I'm like, he talking a lot. And normally when he's talking a lot, you know, it's something that he's trying to stall, or he has another plan in the back of his mind. So yeah, when he got to that point, then when Mobius said, I just started laughing, man, because I was like, yeah, like you said, Loki being Loki, you know what I'm saying? He was gonna set them up and find his way to get up out of there. So
yes, sir.
And Big G, also one thing I didn't mention, but I know you'll be able to appreciate this. All of the different Lokis that they were showing on the screen before they actually jumped.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that, man? Talk to me about that.
Well, I mean, it's tying into my theory, or our theory here on the podcast, of what we said almost a year ago. You know, that we're seeing alternative things pop off all in front of us, and we don't even really recognize what is real and what isn't. So this is a broad expansion or borrowed paint stroke of the MCU. But I got a kick and a thrill out of that Hulk-looking Loki that was at the thing. I didn't know what the heck that was. And but the thing was, I zoomed in on all of them. And there's some of them's timelines, or like the variant number they said, lined up with comic book stuff, right? So the 616 variant showed up on the thing. That was the blue ice Loki that you saw at the very beginning. So I'm like, okay, are they trying to throw comics directly into this, or what are they doing? Because listen, I will give homage to, like Ma said, the writers for this show is just unbelievable, man. You know, got to give them homage, man, because they're setting us up with giving escape routes or escape routes for everything you can think of concerning the MCU. So I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so here's the deal. I think we didn't know we didn't know that Loki was stalling, but he was stalling.
Yeah,
he was stalling, but he wasn't stalling. And I'm trying to figure out. I'm still kind of part ways or sideways on what was he actually stalling for, because the variant was long gone. The variant was in the place that he was supposed to be at. So I'm thinking in my mind, Loki was literally, like Big G said, trying to stall, and like Dame said, trying to stall to kind of get a vision of how he can get away, right? Because his powers is working right now. You know, his powers is working, so he's trying to figure out how he can actually get away from them. So that was the main reason why he was stalling. Nobody was there. They were in no danger whatsoever. But you know, in Loki's whole thing, in him talking, he had talked himself into stalling so that way he could try to find a way around. And I'm glad that Mobius called him on his stuff. I literally am.
And the one thing I would say is that the underlying theme of the whole episode is he's interested in this variant.
Yes.
He's interested in this variant because I think in his mind, if I can connect with this variant, we can really make some chaos happen. And he made that clear later on. I'm not going to get into it, but he made it clear what his intentions was when he came face to face with the variant.
Yeah, he's called the god of mischief, but I think he's really the god of misdirection. You know, right? He's causing the distraction over here to really get something going on over there. That's just what I picked up on.
Yeah, definitely. And then you see Mobius going back into the lion's den for Loki again. He stepped back into the lion's den, and he's talking to his good friend, the judge, who we do know that's Kang's jump out, that's Kang's girl. You know what I'm saying? So he's talking to her, and definitely at this point, he's trying to explain to her why they need Loki. And she's saying how, you know, he's insubordinate, he's rude, he's taking operations on purpose, right? You know, and you know, Mobius at this point still trying to advocate for Loki, because I think he believes that Loki is good at the end of the day. He believes that there's some redeemable qualities on Loki at this moment. And guess what? I absolutely believe it. I believe that there's some redeemable qualities. And I think it's supposed to look dark for right now. What do you think about this, G?
Hey, so there's a lot of misdirection in this scene that Maud is bringing up, right? So first of all, peep the statue behind our Slayer, right? I'm telling y'all right now, that's Kang the Conqueror. I don't care what nobody. That's either Kang the Conqueror or that's a variant Kang that's controlling that's time and space, because that thing looks too much like, and it's like almost like he's giving homage to our Slayer. You know, at that point. Also, if you notice, Mobius keeps saying he is not aware of this artifact and that thing and this thing that's there in that particular scene, right?
Good point.
So
Good point.
if you follow the comic book line and you go back to Thor number 372, you'll see the first appearance of the time variant, Morbius. There's multiple Morbiuses. So there's multiple variants of Loki, there's multiple variants of Mobius, because the conversation that our Slayer and Mobius have is almost like he's like, you're choosing one person or one agent over what I'm doing, and I'm the one that's going to grab Loki to go back and grab this one and that one. So I think it's a big cut to the comics, and also setting us up to see later on up the road that there's going to be multiple people are going to have multiple variants, because remember, you can only survive through a timeline if you're a Nexus being. That's the only way. So that particular scene, a lot of Easter eggs. Just go back and check it out. Dame, you know it's on you, bro.
No, I mean, you hit it. I mean, I was thinking the same thing when he brought up that whole concept of her having all these different, things in her office. And I'm like, well, either, we know she was an agent. And the question that's going to come about, because we're gonna actually see Ravana's actual origin, I believe, in the next episode. I think is what they're going to show, what she was like as an agent.
Yeah,
but I think it's tied to Kang, bro. I have to agree with you. It's somewhere or another we gonna see some kind of leading to Kang the Conqueror. It's just the writing is on the wall for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely, Dame. I believe so. And then here's the deal. Mobius at this point is like, talking to him and basically giving him the business. He's like, you're the scared little boy. He said, I believe one or two things. You're a scared little boy and you're reaching out because you need validation, or, your ego is so fragile, you want to catch the variant because of the simple fact that you want to be superior. He said, but either or, definitely at this point, I don't care. And he's like, but this is your last chance. And if you notice what Loki said, which I thought was really awesome, he was like, little boy, he commented on the little boy part, which meant that Mobius hit that one right on the head.
Yeah.
That he's a scared little boy who's shivering, trying to come back in from out of the cold. And definitely that at that point, I'm tripping. So Dane, what did you think about that, man?
No, I just wanted to add something real quick in what Rajiv was talking about, the Kang aspect. So we getting into, me, I like to look at the news because I'm the MTN guy. So Jonathan Majors, who is going to be the actor that's going to be playing Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man Quantumania, they asked him, with this character in Ravana Renslayer, are we going to see any mention of you? And he gave that classic Marvel answer, I have no idea what y'all talking about. So, like, yeah, man, I think something is up. But no, man, it's I'm telling you, the whole aspect of variance, multiverse, we're dialed all the way into it. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And so now here we go. Loki, they come down this elevator, which the cinematography, fabulous at this point. Oh my gosh, cinematography is fabulous. And Mobius, go ahead, G. What were you about to say?
Hey, deep cut to the cinematography in the elevator. That's the mall in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Until they get to the statues, I didn't know until I actually watched a little show about it, man. I was like, oh wow, that's the mall in Atlanta. And I checked the pictures out, and it sure enough is. So great cinematography, dope. Man.
That's dope. Yeah, I believe they picked. I believe that they picked the right place and the right time to actually shoot it. You know what I'm saying? Because they got some really great shots. Then, here we go. We got Loki in the library. Loki in the library going over the clues. And I mean, it's a lot of funny stuff there, but I won't even get in it. Loki's still acting like, I'm popping. I'm what's up. I'm that guy. You need to service me. You know what I'm saying? Give me what I ask. And she was like, here's the only thing you got access to. And it was his file. He was upset.
Right.
He was definitely upset. But what he found, I thought was good. And here is why I say there's a deep cut in the writers, man. They're so good. They're so good because the gum, they went back to the gum that he found, right? Mm-hmm. The kablooey.
Kablooey.
What happened at the very end of this episode? Kabloom. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Bomb. That's so good. Listen, that's so good. Who would have got that from that? And I almost missed it had I not seen other commentary, and I was like, oh my gosh, bomb, here we go. I'm just thinking it's gum. No, they're just like G said earlier, they're hiding so many things behind other things. It's almost like when you're playing chess. One piece is holding 4 at the same time. And if you're not aware, you're going to get got. You know what I'm saying? So definitely the deep dive on this is just crazy. So Dave, what did you think about this?
Man, you just hit it on the head because he was basically giving them clues. Like when they went back to France and they found that gum, the gum is blue and it said Kaplooey. And we know that Loki is a Frost Giant's kid. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He was
giving them the clues right there in their face.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm telling you, the Loki variant that you see knows a whole lot more than what you think.
I
Believe
agree.
me. Oh, this is a setup. This is set up beyond. We're gonna get to the end of what happened, but I'm telling you right now, this variant knows way more than what you think and feel and believe. Trust that.
Absolutely. I believe it with my heart of hearts, man. And I think the crazy thing here now is that so when he was trying to convince Mobius, he was like, okay, this is what I found. So you have to understand. What happens, and just so that you guys in Marvelous Talk Land can get what's going on, because we kind of skipped past this part, but I'm gonna bring you back. What he's saying is that before every earth-shattering event, or they call it Nexus event,
right?
Before every Nexus event, there's stuff that can happen that if it happens, it's not gonna matter a hill of beans, because of the simple fact that the next day or the next hour, there's a Nexus event that's happening. And if you have the ability to reset the moment again, before it happens again, you can exist in that place forever and nobody ever noticed you.
Correct.
Right? So what did you guys think about this theory when you heard it? Like, did it blow your mind, G? Talk to me about it.
Oh, it was right on time. I mean, I truly believe, and like I said, this is a theory that we came up with on Marvelous Talk almost a year ago, in our initial conversation of laying out the show, that we're looking at the ability of people to manipulate time all along. And because of that, this particular variant knows that secret. And there's a big reason why I believe they know the secret. I ain't going to say it yet. We're going to talk about it a little bit, because let's just say this. Is it a variant or is it? Let's just say that, and I'll leave it there. Is it a variant or is it something else?
Dave, talk to us, man. Tell us what you thought in that moment about this theory.
I mean, it was deep. And something that we've really never seen before. It was a concept, that just transcended a lot of things. And that man, it was, like I said, it was a deep thing. And to see it made a lot of sense, because it's almost like flying in the face of chaos. 9 times out of 10, people ain't looking for you in that place of chaos. And so it made perfect sense.
Right.
Yeah. And especially for somebody like Loki. And I mean, while he was looking through, like I said, these are all just comic relief moments as he's looking through the documents. He's talking to himself, and somebody tells him, shh, and he turns back and looks around and says, back to you too. You
Hey,
know,
hey, Mon and Dame, did y'all peep out that when he was sitting in a little cliff area where he was doing his research and study, that all the different levels matched the times and codes in the elevator, man. So like there was a 616, there was a 3172, there was an X, there was the actual Miss Minutes logo and all them little different areas, man. It was almost looked like a scene out of Star Wars. I was like, oh, this is live, man. This is live.
Like the Jedi library.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So he goes back and he convinces Mobius by drowning in salad, you know, that his theory is sound. And so him and Mobius go back to a time where a volcano is about to destroy and wipe out a whole village.
It was Pompeii, wasn't it?
Pompeii,
yes.
Pompeii.
Yeah. And so here Loki is clowning, just definitely. And Mobius is like, okay, don't start no ripples, you know, don't do nothing that we can't handle. And once again, Loki being Loki, guess what Loki's doing? He's telling everybody, hey, you about to die. You know, the volcano's about to get you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm Loki, by the way. I'm nice. Y'all are not. We're gonna survive. Y'all ain't. It's okay. You know, and basically, you know, he proved his point to Mobius. I thought that while the means was very harsh, the end was right. You know what I'm saying? What did you guys think about this?
Oh man, I was cracking up. I was just rolling. I'm like, well, once again, it kind of reminded me of that first scene that we saw with him in the desert. You know, he got to say he got to give a speech. You know, he's like, So I thought that was hilarious, man. Him standing up and just these poor people about to just suffer, just catechism, this horrible event, and he is, you know, being Loki, like you say.
Loki being Loki. What do you think about this, Big G?
Man, he gave homage to the goats, man. He said, go free my horn friends, my horn comrades. You know, so like you said, every time we really see at the heart of what this character is, he's always given some type of grandiose stance or speech. And he's done that throughout all the MCU. I mean, if you go back to the first Thor movies and the Avengers movies, this is Loki's character. So it's like he wants to be king or he wants to be ruler, but he really doesn't understand how to be king or ruler, man. It's just all about him just doing the grandioso versus doing the work that it takes to actually be ruler and king.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what Mobius had the conversation with him about. That's what it was all about, is finding your purpose and greater good inside of what you've been called to do. Yeah. But Loki is still, you know, man, I'm Loki. You know, hey, man, wait a minute. You know, this is me and all my grandeur. I'm a god. The same thing that he said to Banner, the Hulk, that got him tossed around a couple of times. That's the attitude he has. You know what I'm saying? That he's still in control. And so this conversation that he had with Mobius, to me, was, I think, a deep moment, and it's going to come back. I think this is another moment that's going to come back in another episode, right? I really think this was Mobius getting a chance to know how Loki thinks, and Loki getting a chance to know how Mobius thinks. So consequently, when we get past that part, now he's talking to his boss again, and he is asking his boss for the opportunity to go and take a team into this place to catch the variant of Loki. Now we're going to get to this part because I thought was very interesting. When they went into the store and the storm was happening, it was Haven Hills, right? Haven Hills. And you see something just ripped the sign apart. I mean, so it's debris flying around everywhere. And it's 2050. So, you know, this big old hurricane's about to wipe everything out, and they're going to a place called Roxcart. What had me laughing at this point, and Big G got some more, because, you know, of course, we're prone, what y'all don't know, Marvelous Talk Land, we're prone to go into the rabbit hole and not come up for a couple of days. It is what it is. We don't need air down there. It's a new type of air that we're breathing. So Loki uses his power for the first time, and he drives himself off. And the person that's there with him, that it just totally freaks out because she's freaked out at this point because him using his power, that's a little too much. That's a little too much. I mean, I can't control you. So she's saying, Mobius, you go with those other folks. Let me stay around here just in case, something goes bad, and something went bad. So talk to us about that whole scene coming up first before we get on the something went bad part, G. Talk to us about Rock's Cart and everything that we saw.
Well, okay, so Rock's Cart is a deep cut of Roxxon, which is a company that showed up in Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. So Rock's Cart is like the Walmart of Roxxon. However, if you tie it back to the comic run, it's actually tied to Briggs Chemical LLC. Briggs Chemical LLC is an actual company that was created by AIM in the year of 2052. Its job or its responsibility was to measure catastrophic events throughout the whole world and recategorize them. So like right now, in our modern world, we got hurricane category 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That hurricane that they was about to experience, what you saw somebody in a store shopping, was a category 8 hurricane. So if you can imagine what that would actually was going to happen to that area, everything was going to be wiped out. But if you go to the screen and you look at the shot, or when they read the script of what was going to happen during that time, it showed you that the earth wasn't going to experience a catastrophe. It was just that area and that location. So it's a deep cut to throw back to like the Marvel deal or the old MCU shows, but it's also throwing you back to pull AIM, Rock's Cart, Roxxon, which are all deep dive comic books, which reads back to Briggs Chemical LLC.
Yeah. So Dame, what did you think about when you saw this?
The scene basically, you brought up something with Loki and the guard. It made me wonder, number one, how is he able to use his powers? But then, of course, we've seen when he's at TVA, they got that thing around him. But I can understand from that scene why she was so intimidated by him. But the following thing that happens, what really blows my mind, reminds me of we talking about Rock's Cart. It made me think about the old Rockwell song. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Somebody was watching and had a plan. Yeah. Had a plan. So yeah, so that whole scene right there, I'm telling y'all, I had to go back and watch it again because I missed the handoff, which I think you're about to talk about in just a little bit. But yeah. Man, that was awesome scene, man. But yeah, that storm was catastrophic, man. And I think I heard somebody say it was because it was almost like they were giving a lend to like the climate had got so bad that that's why you had a storm of this magnitude. So,
right.
Yeah, definitely. And here we are. We have a shot of Loki, and he's walking with the head TVA agent, and the lights are flickering. Everything's going on and off. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, Loki knows something, but he's not really saying it. And then here we see somebody shopping for plants.
In the hurricane.
Category 8.
In the category 8 hurricane, you shopping for plants. And how are you gonna walk up on this person? This is what I was saying. You ain't got no gun to shoot him. You know what I'm saying? Why are we walking up on him with a stick? Yeah, the stick works on people when they're unsuspecting, but somebody who's ready for you on that whole thing, you walk up on them, and then now you find out this is the second time where you see the variant use their power to take someone else over, right?
Yeah.
So the variant used that power to take somebody else over, and she took over the body of the head TVA agent and was talking. And Loki was upset about this because he was like, don't be a coward. Show yourself. I want to see who you are. What you made of. Why are you hiding behind these disguises? You know what I'm saying? And basically, he's trying to goat the person into coming out. That's exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to goat and bait the person to come out. Whoever it is, whatever variant you are, I want to see who you are and what you're about. Dave, tell me what you thought about this particular scene in general.
Well, typical Loki. You know, he's like he's baiting this individual to show their true colors. You know what I'm saying? And I love how he said, he even mentioned it almost like a coward move. He's like, you know, putting yourself in this enchanted form using different forms. That's a coward move. So, you know, if you're so bad, tell me, come to me the way you are. And I'm like, I'm loving it, because I'm like, yeah, you're Loki up to something, because he like, you the one, you they saying you so bad, show me how bad you are. So yeah, I was loving it, man. I love that whole exchange. Went from being the agent to Randy and and the big old redneck dude. So yeah, it was hilarious, man.
Oh my. And G, what'd you think about this, man? Talk to me.
Hey, man. So keep in mind what Dame just said. Why are you coming in your enchanted form? Don't forget that he said that to them, right? Mm-hmm. And also, this is the thing. Loki is sort of ticked and upset that this particular variant has powers that he doesn't even understand, right? So that's my question is this really a variant, or is this something that we ain't never seen before? And I got proof on the theory about what it is and what we're seeing. However, the issue is that Loki knows more than what, and I'm going to keep saying it, Loki knows more than what he's putting on. Loki gets it. Loki, matter of fact, this is almost like, you know, like when you put a seed in the ground and you start watering it and you're filtering it and you're pushing it up. And it's like he's almost trying to pull the seed all the way through the ground so it produces the thing that he wants, right? And that's going to tie into my theory, that my reveal to the show here in a little bit.
Well, you got to think about this. There's a couple of things that need to be said at this point. And Dame, I'm going to speak it to you, and you tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Although it's tongue in cheek with Loki, him saying I'm 10 steps ahead of you, he really is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He really is. He's really have. I mean, because think about, let's rewind back. When he took the control out of Mobius's pocket, it looked like he was out of control at that point. It looked like he was out of control at that point, but he was actually in control of that whole situation, because all he wanted to do was get out from that room that he was in. So, Dame, am I right to assume that Loki's 10 steps ahead?
I mean, dude, I'm going back to what G said about this variant / unknown. I don't think Loki knows what's going on with this individual, man. I think and the reason why, I'm gonna tell you the reason why, is because when she went through that portal, I'm getting ahead of myself. He was torn whether or not he wanted to go or not. But then curiosity made him like, I gotta see what she gonna do. To me, that's just my fact, and I could be wrong, but that's the way I deduced it, man.
I don't think you deduced wrong, because I think they wanted to give you that feeling, right? But I think he knew exactly what he was going to do before, because this was a way where he can flip the turn. He thought his whole plan through at the moment he saw them coming. This is his opportunity to flip back on his face and be on his feet, right? Because he is working a plan, but he's working a plan from the bottom. It's the same thing we saw in Ragnarok. He was working a plan, but he was working a plan from the bottom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
a master of manipulation. A master of manipulation.
So the second piece about this is, what is real? What is real? You keep saying, she kept saying, the agent that was taken kept saying, it's real. It's real. It's real. What are we talking about? What's real? What did she see? You know what I'm saying? What did she see? So what's real? It's real. It's real. G, what do you think she saw at this moment?
Well, you got to remember, she was taken over by whatever this thing is, you know. So that means that, okay, so let's go back to this. Let's rewind all the way back to the Avengers Age of Ultron, right? And you saw Wanda Maximoff be able to touch an individual and implant thoughts and more or less make the person do what they want them to do, right? Why is this variant have the same powers or same ability to manipulate it? Because of that, remember, their eyes turn green, just like how Wanda Maximoff's people's eyes turn red. And then it's like they're in a spell or enchanted for a moment of time while the variant uses or manipulates the individual into doing exactly what they want to do. So I'm saying that this is more witchcraft or more what you've seen in the MCU, but just twisted a little bit of different ways. And that's going to support my theory here in a minute of who this individual is and what they're doing. Because Loki does not have that ability. For y'all that don't know, Loki can't touch nobody. Now, he used the stone to do it, but Loki can't touch nobody and jump up in them like that. Nah, there's no Loki variant on that whole timeline that's got that ability. So I'm saying that this is something different. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here we are now, and Loki is very manipulative in the sense, so he thinks, to get the person to actually, the variant, to reveal themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, it's a woman. She had it right. He hit it right on the nod, and he was like, "It's a female version of Loki."
I said that. I said that.
Did you say that, Dave? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Marvelous Talk had it right. We had it right. It was a female variant of Loki, and here it is. He's talking about, look, you know, what I was doing was getting in so I could see the timekeepers. I'm about to take in. I'm about to take over here. You know what I'm saying? And I need a second in command to be able to run. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Loki just be running his mouth. He just be talking and bumping his guns, has no idea what he's saying. He's just saying to see if he can get in somewhere and get some type of territory. Because remember, he's good at running his mouth. He was running his mouth to Thanos, you know, trying to get in and so he could get close enough to hit him with the knife. That's what Loki does. He runs his mouth. Go ahead.
The key phrase that came out of that exchange when she said, number one, if you notice, when he called her Loki, she's like, "Don't call me that." When it was Randy, don't call me that. And the second thing was, "It's not about you."
Right.
About those two phrases was really interesting.
Right. So my question is, if it's a variant, why don't they want to be called Loki? If that's the case, I mean, call me what I am. No. This is something else, y'all. This is something else. Believe me and trust, this is something different.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, honestly, as I'm sitting and I'm thinking on this whole thing at this point, I'm not as lost as I once was in the very beginning of this whole thing, trying to figure it out. You know, the B-15 was found on the ground and she was shook visibly, but she wasn't saying it's real, it's real. So there's something else that is yet to be seen that we haven't seen yet, you guys. Pay attention, and we'll get to it right here on Marvelous Talk. Now, definitely after this, we see that the variant reveals themselves because at first they was this employee of the whole store, right? And they revealed themselves, and he was like, you know, getting them to talk and go ahead and do his whole spiel like all villains do. They do the monologue and tell off what they're about to do, and that's exactly what happened. And you know, Loki started getting whooped by Tom or whoever he was. The big guy just started getting handled. Handled. Yeah, and then you know, at that point, the variant went over, and she began to start bombing what we know as the timeline. So here we are, right? We've had the timeline go kablooey. It's bombed. It's been bombed. The main timeline has been bombed. Now, guys, here's the $30 million question. Why?
Oh, I know. But go ahead, Dame. I know. Go ahead.
So one of the things that I want to point out is in that process, we see what happens. all of the whole TVA is like on activation alert. Everyone is going through these portals. So the TVA, as we know it, is left vulnerable. There's no one there. So could that be part of the whole plan? Is that we gonna see this Lady Loki go back? I don't know, but like I said, everybody in the Time Variance Authority was like activated. All these, even Renslayer grabbed her thing and like she's fitting to go to work. You know what I'm saying? So it looks like the TVA is gonna be vulnerable at this point. So is that the plan somehow or another to infiltrate the TVA from the fact that now there's no one there to really defend it? Oh no.
I don't know, but the why is the question now, and you almost got to think like Loki to do it. Now, Big G, let's hear what you have to say on this, man. Talk to me.
All right, so Marvelous Talk, here's the reveal. After countless hours and time spent in the rabbit hole, I figured out that we're actually not looking at a variant of Loki. What we are looking at is called the Enchantress. It's a deep dive Marvel character that is going to play out right in front of our face on the big screen. The Enchantress name is Sylvia Lucian, Lushton. She is actually, her first appearance, i.e., is in Young Avengers #1. And oh, what, by the way, haven't we seen a Young Avenger appear in every show so far, or make his debut in every show so far? So now here's our appearance of a Young Avenger, which later on she used to a young master, right? Sylvia Lustin is a kid that is given the power of Amora, who is the original Enchantress that appeared in Journeys to Mystery #103. So you have the original Enchantress, and then her spirit gets put inside of a child by Loki after Asgard is destroyed and moves to Oklahoma in the comic book. But in the MCU, remember, Asgard's destroyed and they move Asgard to the earth. So these are all supporting, correct. These are all supporting facts to show you that this individual is not a Loki variant. Also, the third thing, you can go back and rewind it. Those times that they picked to have those bombs blow up on the timeline were not by accident. They even have Vilmir, they have Asgard. They show you on the timeline why this person is doing it, where they're doing the way they're doing it. Now, I'm quite sure the episodes moving forward is going to reveal to us and show us why. But this individual, this Asgardian, well, this human that now has an Asgardian spirit and tied inside of it is Sylvia Lucian. Even so, go back and look at the end credit scene of Marvelous. They don't even call it Loki variant or Loki. They call it Sylvan. So that's telling you that this thing is not a variant. It's actually, in my opinion, my deep dive, my deep cut, the Enchantress.
Wow. So y'all heard it right here on Marvelous Talk, man. I mean, Big G hitting us with some good stuff, man. I mean, literally at this point, G, I can't say you wrong. I can't say you wrong at all. And I wouldn't call you wrong. I would just say, hey, man, guess what we're going to do? We're going to watch and see. Because at this point, man, it's so much there, man. Usually I would be able to kind of sit back, digest it, and then spit it out. But after even 3 watches, man, I'm still missing stuff. I'm sure that there's stuff that's gonna pay off in these next couple of weeks to come. And make sure that y'all just stay locked right here on Marvelous Talk, because we're gonna get into it. Definitely like and subscribe. Smash that like button, man. Definitely you guys check it out. We're gonna be here all the time on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And man, as always, it's been a great time having conversation with y'all on the Marvelous Talk. For Big G, Dame, and myself, Maude, we out of here, man.